Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. Yeah, today we continue our work. It's not a work, it's a pleasure. Our delightful survey of everything I've got down here in the name of Haydn. The inimitable Haydn, the imperishable, indomitable Haydn. And we begin with a really major set, which has been reissued a few times, and so I have a couple different iterations of it. This is the complete Haydn sonatas performed by Rudolf Buchbinder. The present recording is based on the Wiener Urtext Ausgabe, edited by Christa Landen. The numbering of sonatas is taken from this edition. All right, that's fine. Really wonderful music. There are 10 CDs, and there are, the sonatas are numbered up through 1 through 62, and then there are variations and other piano pieces, which are just fabulous as well. But it's a lot of music. There are not 62 sonatas. A bunch of them in the middle are missing. There are about 43. But that's still a very good number of sonatas. And the sonatas track Haydn's evolution as a composer from his very earliest days right up to past the London symphonies, to the invention of the concert piano sonata, which was, of course, one of Haydn's inventions, as everything in music tended to have been. And, it's really kind of amazing because the earlier ones were written for cembalo, for harpsichord, and then gradually they became written for piano, especially the ones he wrote in London, which were written for the very latest, forte pianos created by Broadwood and other companies like that. And they actually employ pedal effects and things, una corda pedals. And Haydn starts to get really interested in taking advantage of the resources of the modern piano. And so you get to hear not only the evolution of Haydn's own style, but the evolution of the instrument, the keyboard technique and keyboard instruments for which he was writing. And he was totally on top of all of those developments, as was his pupil Beethoven. So these performances are, I think, lovely. They're crisp and lively and full of life and energy, and I've always enjoyed them. I really have. I think they're wonderful. It was a set that was not easy to find in this country for many years because it was on Telefunken, and those were imports from Germany, and they were terribly expensive, and it came in volumes that you would have to get separately. So it was great when it showed up on CD, and this was, I think, its first CD incarnation. It came up very briefly, then it disappeared right away. Then it came back in a slimmer box for a while, and that's where it ended. So if you can still find these, great. If not, we now have some remarkable Haydn piano sonata cycles, including John Ephraim Bavuzet, who's amazing on Chandos, and a few others as well. So it's not as pioneering as it was, but the performances have held up extremely well. So let's not, look a gift horse in the mouth. It's very fine. Then we've got a couple recordings of The Creation, a lively, sparkling, warm performance, the best available, says Classic CD. Gee, I hope I didn't write that review. Anyway, it's still very good. I'm just kidding. This is Die Schöpfung, The Creation, with Franz Bruggen, with the orchestra of the 18th century and the Gulbenkian Choir, with soloists Luba Organasova, Joan Rogers, John Mark Ainsley, Ecki Wilhelm Schulte, and Per Falstad. 5 soloists is very generous. You can do it with 3, depending on who takes the parts of Adam and Eve in part 3. So you can do it that way. You can even have an extra alto in the final chorus because there's a quartet of soloists. I am curious to see now. I haven't looked at this in quite a while. It's a lively and very enjoyable performance. It really is. And they say it was lively on the back here. Didn't I say that already? Oh, I don't know what I was looking at. Oh, here it is on the sticker. Lively and sparkling. That's it. Lively and sparkling. I just want to see how many players they have here. Because, The Creation was written for a huge, huge orchestra. Oh, good. And, I knew they didn't use like teensy tiny, itsy bitsy, stupid forces here, and they don't. They don't. I mean, you've got at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 first violins. That's really good in 10 seconds. And everything else entirely at 3 contrabasses. Okay, you could have a few more of those. But basically, it's a fullish ensemble, which has to be fullish, not foolish, full-ish. Because you need to have many people as you can get together. If you could double everything, you're in great shape, like Christopher Hogwood's period instrument recording does, which is thrilling. It's like amazing. But this is really good. It's really good, and it's now on Decca, if it exists at all. And I'm happy to have seen it, and I'm going to go listen to it right after this video again. I want to hear it. It's been a while. I liked it in the day. And here is the référence recording for the creation. Karajan, believe it or not. Karajan, who hated choruses, who hated human beings, actually. He didn't like anything that would get in the way of his luscious instrumental concoctions. But this is the exception that proves the rule, because here is really a slamming creation with amazing cast. Gundula Janowitz, Fritz Wunderlich, who died in the middle of making the recording. The recitatives were completed by Werner Krenn. At least Wunderlich did the arias, thank God. Fischer Dieskau, Walter Berry, Christa Ludwig in the little alto part at the very end. I mean, that's luxury casting. The Wiener Singverein, the Berlin Philharmonic, on Deutsche Grammophon, and it really is splendid. And it hasn't aged a day. I know the period instrument people will say it aged a day. It hasn't aged a day. It's absolutely splendid. If you don't know this performance, you really must. It was an anomaly in Karajan's career. And the interesting thing is Karajan also did the seasons on EMI. So he was okay for Haydn's major oratorios. And later in his career, the Haydn symphonies even. Surprising, because Haydn's timbral aesthetic was light years away from Karajan's. But something clicked. It certainly did here. So there you have it. Only three things in this video, but they're big things. All of the sonatas with Buchbinder, the two performances of the creation, very different in aesthetic outlook, one on period instruments, one as modern as can be, and they're all really, really fine recordings, the whole batch of them. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.